Well, hello and welcome to our program tonight. It is so good to have you with us. We need to pray big time hard for our country. I live in the United States, and I know there's strife all around the world. So whatever country you're in, be praying for your country. If we ever get peace within our own countries, then maybe we can have peace among the countries. As all of you know, my whole goal and my message has always been, we've got to learn to love each other regardless of political persuasion or regardless of religious persuasion. Jesus spoke a lot more about love than he did about other stuff, you know. And we've just got to learn to love each other again, or we're in serious trouble in the world. But something else that I need to talk to you tonight about, and I hate this, I'm so sorry about this, but my age is just catching up with me. This is the 5th time I've tried to do this segment tonight. And I finally got the segment done and realized I had not turned on my transmitter. So there was no sound. Little things like this are just starting to happen over and over again. And I don't know how much longer I can keep doing it in a way that I'm not embarrassed by myself, you know. But here's what I'm going to do. We're going to finish out this year. By the way, week after next is our request show. I believe that's the first week of December. But anyway, first week of December, we'll do our request show again. That will be our 2nd anniversary. We will have been doing it for 2 years, the first week of December. And I really wanted to make 2 years. That was really my goal as much as anything. But here's what I'm going to have to do. Starting in January, some of you have been with me since the first night, and I'm not going to start calling names. You know who you are. I'm not going to start calling names, because if I leave somebody out, I would feel terrible about that, because you're all important to me, and I love all of you dearly. But I don't want to lose our togetherness in our congregation. So what I'm going to try to do, as long as I can, I'm going to do the first Friday of every month. That'll be a request show, and it'll be the only show that I'm going to do during the month. If you know, the replays are there. There's by the time I get through with the December show, there will be 80 programs up, and so there's a lot of replays that we can replay. The problem, of course, is we don't get the congregation and everything. That's why I want to continue doing at least one a month, and we'll go as long as I can just sort of keep it together long enough to do this. I wish I was 30 again. I would love to do this show for 20 years. But I'm just having more and more problems getting it done. Speaking of music, let's get on into our program. For our first song tonight, I'm going to start off by telling you a story about a lady named Eliza Hewitt. Eliza was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1851. She graduated from high school as the valedictorian of her class, and she became a school teacher. And one day she was watching over some kids. I guess it was on a recess or something like that, and she wound up hurting her back severely, and she was bedridden for several weeks. And she said rather than let it get her down, she just delved further into the study of English and literature, and she started writing. She became a poet. And she said she felt like had that event never taken place, she would never have become the poet that she became. But she often attended camp meetings in New Jersey, and she met a lady named Emily Wilson there, and they became very good friends. And Emily wrote music, and Eliza wrote poetry, so they made a great team. And she was also very good friends with Fannie J. Crosby, and we all know Fannie J. Crosby. This lady wrote 8,000 or 9,000 songs in her lifetime, but they were good friends. But she and Emily wrote this next song in 1898, and it was in keeping with the camp meetings and the evangelical fervor that was going on in the late 1900s. But they wrote this great song that we're going to all sing together, and it's called When We All Get to Heaven.
Jesus, sing His mercy and His grace. In the mansions bright and blessed, He'll prepare for us a place. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. While we walk the pilgrim pathway, clouds will overspread the sky. But when traveling days are over, not a shadow, not a sigh. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. Let us then be true and faithful, trusting, serving every day. Just one glimpse of Him in glory will the toils of life repay. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. Onward to the prize before us, soon His beauty will behold. Soon the pearly gates will open, we shall tread the streets of gold. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory.
For our next song tonight, I'm going to do you a song that was written by Elisha Hoffman and Anthony Showalter. Showalter was a publisher and a teacher, and he wrote some composition books, some theory books, and what have you. And he wrote this song when he got letters from two of his students whose wife had passed away, and he was trying to write them something of a comforting nature. And he found a verse in Deuteronomy that mentioned the everlasting arms, and he said by the time he had written their letters, he had the verse and the tune. And then he got Hoffman to help him with the verses. And this song went on to be in movies, not the least of which was True Grit. It was used in TV things. The Simpsons had a version of it. Several, I don't remember all of them, but there was several TV shows that used it. Mahalia Jackson did a version of it. George Jones did a version. Twyla Paris did a version. And Alan Jackson in 2006 put out a hymn album called Precious Memories, and he put this on his album. Carol and Anita helped me do the background on this, and it's on my Gospel Ship album. And we're going to do it for you tonight. It's called Leaning on the Everlasting Arms.
What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms.
Lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus,
safe and secure from all alarms.
lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus,
Leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, how sweet to walk in this pilgrim way, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, how bright the path grows from day to day, leaning on the everlasting arms.
lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus,
Safe and secure from all alarms.
lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus,
Leaning on the everlasting arms. What have I to dread? What have I to fear? Leaning on the everlasting arms. I have blessed peace with my Lord so near. Leaning on the everlasting arms.
lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus,
Safe and secure from all alarms.
lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus,
Leaning on the everlasting arms.
lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus,
Safe and secure from all alarms.
lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus,
Leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning on the everlasting arms.
The song I'm going to do next was written by Stuart Hamblin, and it's on my Angel Band CD. This song was written in 1950 as a result of a meeting between Stuart Hamblin and John Wayne. They had been big partying buddies back in the 30s and 40s, and Hamblin had recently been saved, and he had lost his radio show because he was one of the early radio stars, but he had lost that particular radio show because he wouldn't read beer commercials. He did later on get another show called the Cowboy Church of the Air, and that went on until 1952. But anyway, he wrote this great song after hearing John Wayne. He told John was offering him a drink, and he said, you know, I don't drink anymore. And, you know, he said, you don't miss all of that? He said, no, it's no secret what God can do. And of course, John prompted him and said, that might be a good song. Well, he went home and he wrote the song sometime later. And it was done just no telling how many people have done this song, but Jim Reeves did a version of it. Wayne Newton did a version of it. Johnny Cash did a version of it. Hank Snow did a version of it. Ernest Tubb did a version of it. Elvis Presley did a version of it. And I could go on. I mean, this song's been done by so many people. But tonight, I'm going to do you my version of it, and it's called It Is No Secret What God Can Do.
The chimes of time ring out the news, another day is through. Someone slipped and fell. Was that someone you? You may have longed for added strength, your courage to renew. Do not be disheartened, for I bring hope to you. It is no secret what God can do. There is no night, for in His light you'll never walk alone. Always feel at home wherever you may roam. There is no power can conquer you while God is on your side. Just take Him at His promise. Don't run away and hide. It is no secret what God can do. What He's done for others, He'll do for you. With arms wide open, He'll pardon you. It is no secret what God can do. It is no secret what God can do. What He's done for others, He'll do for you. With arms wide open, He'll pardon you. It is no secret what God can do. It is no secret what God can do.
For our next song tonight, I'm going to do you a song that was written by a man named Charles Gabriel in 1890. Charles Gabriel was such a prolific writer that he wrote under many pseudonyms. He wrote over 7,000 pieces of work, some words in music, some words, just 7,000 pieces of anything in a lifetime is a lot. But he had many popular songs. One was Higher Ground. He wrote the words to His Eyes on the Sparrow. And he also wrote the words to this song. Jimmy Swaggart did a version of this song. The Old Time Gospel Quartet did a version of this song. And the bass singer for the Cathedrals, George Younce, did a version of this song. So we're going to do our version of it for you tonight. And it's called Send the Light.
Restless waves, send the light, send the light. There are souls to rescue, there are souls to save, send the light, send the light, send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine from shore to shore, send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine forevermore. We have heard the Macedonian call today, send the light, send the light, and a golden offering at the cross we lay, send the light, send the light, send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine from shore to shore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine forevermore. us pray that grace may everywhere abound. Send the light, send the light, and a Christ-like spirit everywhere be found. Send the light, send the light, send the light, the blessed gospel light. Let it shine from shore to shore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light. Let it shine forevermore. Let us not grow weary in the work of love. Send the light, send the light. Let us gather jewels for a crown above. Send the light, send the light, send the light, the blessed gospel light. Let it shine from shore to shore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light. Let it shine forevermore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light. Let it shine from shore to shore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light. Let it shine forevermore. Let it shine forevermore.
Gospel Ship is a song that goes back further than we know about. I'm guessing it probably came from some of the camp meetings and the folklore in the mid to late 1800s. But the first family to record it was the Carter family. And then later on, Alphonse Lefebvre sort of put it together in a standardized version. And he's given credit for writing the song, but he didn't write the song. The Carters did it long before he published what he called his arrangement. But then the Lefebvres did a version later on. But anyway, I chose it as the title song of my second album. And when I started to do the second album, I had always wanted to do some songs with three ladies singing in the background. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to arrange the song in such a way, or the harmony in such a way that when you hear me doing my harmonies on most of my albums, I'm singing what's called parallel harmony most of the time. Every now and then I'll do a counterpoint, but most of the time, my harmony parts, we're singing the same line at the same time. We're just singing on different pitch levels, and that creates the harmony. But I wanted to do a call and response that was somewhat reminiscent of the old spiritual songs and old gospel songs from the early 1900s, maybe even late 1800s. And so these two ladies, Anita and Carol, had been recording in my studio, and they both did gospel music. And I needed three, and Anita had a friend. I believe her name was Sharon. Forgive me if that's the wrong name, but it's been 20 years, folks. So I don't remember what happened yesterday. I'm 75 now. I don't remember much of what happened yesterday, much less 20 years ago. But Sharon, I hope that's your correct name, because I want you to have credit. But anyway, Anita and Carol, I knew they were good singers, and I knew they could do the harmony parts and all that. So they all agreed to help me. And over a period of, I don't know, several months, we recorded 10 songs, and we did this beautiful call and response work. So, I mean, you'll hear how it works when we start to sing this song. But I just want to thank Anita and Carol and Sharon for their wonderful work that they did with me back then. And the way that we recorded it, I won't get into the technical aspects of it, but it gave us a nice big sound in the background. They sound like a chorus. They sound like a choir. And because we would double it, and just things that we did to thicken it up. But they did such a wonderful job on this. And my brother Mick did the guitar work on this. And he plays some lead guitar, but then he plays some slide guitar too. So for all you guitar players out there, get ready for this. Obviously, I think a lot of my brother, but he can play, I assure you. And so without further ado, why don't we just do this song for you? I'm going to take a trip on that good old gospel ship.
I'm gonna take a trip on that good old gospel ship. I am going far beyond the sky. I'm gonna shout and sing until all the heavens ring, and I'll be bidding this old world goodbye. I have good news to bring, and this is why I sing. All my joys with you I will share. I'm gonna take a trip on that good old gospel ship and go sailing, sailing through the air. I'm gonna take a trip on that good old gospel ship. I am going far beyond the sky. I'm gonna shout and sing until all the heavens ring, and I'll be bidding this old world goodbye. Scarcely wait, and I will not be late. I am gonna spend my time in prayer, and when my ship comes in, I will leave this world of sin and go sailing, sailing through the air. I'm gonna take a trip on that good old gospel ship. I am going far beyond the sky. I'm gonna shout and sing until all the heavens ring, and I'll be bidding this old world goodbye. I will be bidding this old world goodbye.
Alan Jackson did an album of gospel songs, and one of the ones that was on that album was a song called I Want to Stroll Over Heaven with You. And I know we talk about it on our chat room, how we would love to get together and play together and jam together and sing together. And if I was younger, we'd make that happen. But As it is, it would be very difficult for me now with certain issues that I have for us to be able to do that. But we will do that in heaven one day. Alan Jackson did the song. The Happy Goodmans did the song. Third Time Out did the song. A young man named Owen Mack did the song. Several people have done this song. But we're going to do our version of it for you tonight. It's called I Want to Stroll Over Heaven with You.
If I surveyed all the good things that come to me from above, if I could count all the blessings from the storehouse of love, I'd simply ask for the favor of Him beyond mortal men, and I'm sure that He would grant it again. I want to stroll over heaven with you some glad day, where all the troubles and heartaches are vanished away. Then we'll enjoy the beauty where all things are new. I want to stroll over heaven with you. Places of beauty we long to see here below. The time and treasures have kept us from making plans, as you know. But come the morning of the rapture, together we'll stand anew, while I stroll over heaven with you. I want to stroll over heaven with you some glad day, where all the troubles and heartaches are vanished away. Then we'll enjoy the beauty where all things are new. I want to stroll over heaven with you. I want to stroll over heaven with you some glad day, where all the troubles and heartaches are vanished away. Then we'll enjoy the beauty where all things are new. I want to stroll over heaven with you. I want to stroll over heaven with you.
For this next song tonight, I'm going to do you a song that was written by Curtis Millsap in 1940. I was starting to play a lot in the mountain regions by the time I got to my fourth album. And people had kept telling me, you need a banjo to go with that music. My first album was sort of country-ish gospel, but I didn't use anything but acoustic guitar. I wasn't playing banjo or mandolin at that time. But people started saying, if you're going to play up here in the mountains, you need a banjo or a mandolin to go with that music. We like your music, but we'd like to hear a banjo or something, you know. So I started out by getting a mandolin, and I learned that pretty quick as far as the chords went. You know, you can spend a lifetime perfecting any instrument. So I'm not saying I mastered the instrument quickly. I'm just saying the chords, it was just learning different. Your chord shapes are a little different because the tuning is a bit different on a mandolin than a guitar. But once you learn the chord shapes, you can play rhythm if you already know how to play rhythm. So that was no problem. But silly me, I ordered me a banjo. This is different. Yes, the chords again are different because it's tuned even differently than, well, there's many tunings for a banjo, but the open G tuning is still different than a guitar, although you can tune a guitar to open G, but standard guitar tuning is not that. And a mandolin is tuned in fifths, kind of like a violin or a fiddle. So anyway, I think I'm going to grab this banjo and just start picking like I did the mandolin. Oh no. And I'm a finger picker. I did Chet Atkins style and finger picked and all that kind of stuff coming along in my younger days, you know, sit around with acoustic and just finger pick. So I just thought banjo would be a piece of cake, but oh no, that your high string is on top instead of on the bottom. Now we got to learn to weave that thing in and out of picking a melody with your fingers and between your fingers and your thumb while keeping a running figure going. This didn't happen so quick. But anyway, I played it when I would go and play, and when I would take my break, I would sit there and play banjo with my tracks. And so after about a month, I started to get the feel for what was the worst. I was used to playing with my fingernails when I would play guitar. But banjo, the stroke is a little bit stronger, and I immediately broke my front fingernails, so that forced me to have to learn to use the picks, which I'm glad it did, because within a month I was feeling comfortable with the picks. But it took me about a month to get to where I could adequately keep up with what was going on with the track. But then I started using it on my third album, which was the radio album. I put a little bit on there and put a lot on the Cabin album. But anyway, this is one of those songs that prompted me to do banjo, and it was just begging for almost a lead banjo part. So this song is heavily influenced by the banjo, and it's called I've Got That Old Time Religion in My Heart.
I'm glad Jesus came, glory to his name. Oh, what a friend is he. He so freely gave his own life to save, from bonds of sin set free. I've got that old time religion in my heart. Oh, wait, down inside. I've got a new kind of feeling in my heart. Joys of life. Nobody knows what it means to me. Nobody knows but my Lord and me. I've got that old time religion in my heart. Oh, wait, it's down inside. What a joy to know one who loves us so. He is so kind and true. He has changed my life from all sin and strife. He'll do the same for you. I've got that old time religion in my heart. Oh, wait, it's down inside. I've got a new kind of feeling in my heart. Joys of life. Nobody knows what it means to me. Nobody knows but my Lord and me. I've got that old time religion in my heart. Oh, wait, to Him bow, just let the Lord come in. You'll find perfect peace, joy will never cease. You shall the life crown win. I've got that old-time religion in my heart, way down inside. I've got a new kind of feeling in my heart, joys abide. Nobody knows what it means to me. Nobody knows but my Lord and me. I've got that old-time religion in my heart, way down inside. I've got that old-time religion in my heart, way down inside. I've got a new kind of feeling in my heart, joys abide. Nobody knows what it means to me. Nobody knows but my Lord and me. I've got that old-time religion in my heart, way down inside.
Right now, I just want to remind you about our website, www.birdyeomans.com. All my CDs are there. My double CDs are there. My songbook's there. There's a couple of specials that we have there. And just want to invite you to come by and take a look at it. If you have any questions, my wife Linda will be glad to help you. Her email address is linda@birdyeomans.com. And thank you so much for being a part of our program. And now we're just going to get you back to the musical portion of the show. Well, as must happen, it's time for our last song this evening. This is a song from my Turn Your Radio On album. In looking for songs to do for different albums, I come by them in various ways, but this particular song, I really had never heard it before and did not grow up singing this song. It was written in the early 1900s. And been in several hymnals and became a very popular song, but I wasn't familiar with it until a lady came into my studio and recorded a version for her album. And I enjoyed the song so much and enjoyed working on it till I thought, well, you know, it's time for my third album. Let's put this one in the list and see what happens. And so I recorded a version of it, and it made the cut, and it's on my third album. But it's a song called I'm Getting Ready to Leave This World.
Laying up my treasures in that home above, rusting, fully trusting in the Savior's love, doing what I can for heaven's holy dove. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready for the gates of hell, keeping my record right, watching both day and night. I'm getting ready to leave this world, to prepare a mansion. Jesus said I'll go. If it were not true, I would have told you so. Just a little while to linger here below. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready for the gates of hell, keeping my record right, watching both day and night. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready for the gates of hell, keeping my record right, watching both day and night. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm packing up, getting ready to go, 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 I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready for the gates of hell, keeping
Thank you for being with us tonight. I always enjoy getting together and congregating. That's one reason I'm hating so bad having to cut the show back to one program a month, but we will start doing that in January. We'll do our regular every Friday night until January, the first Friday night in January. And by the way, I think I forgot to tell you this at the top of the show. That one program a month will still be a request show, but here's what you're going to have to do. If you have subscribed to the channel, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe, but go back and click that notification bell so that it has a little parentheses around it if you haven't done that, and that way you'll get my notifications. You will also get my announcements. Now, if you haven't done this, when you as you sign on, I don't know if you can do it now that the show has started, but next week while you're waiting for the show to start, there's a little thing on the page, on the screen that says set reminder. Click that. And then every time I go live, which will be once a month, and that's harder to remember than every Friday night, so a lot of people might start missing it if it's just once a month. But anyway, you'll get a little ringy-dingy on your phone if you set it up from your phone, and it'll let you know that the program is fixing to start. Now, this is important. This is how we'll do the requests. The request can be made on, like in January, you can go, that program, you can go ahead and make some requests for February. But also, the only other place that I will check will be if I will send out an announcement, maybe once a week or something like that, and I will do that just simply so you can put your request on that announcement, because you can make comments under that. You can request it while you're watching other videos, but I may or may not ever see that, Sometimes YouTube prompts me and sometimes they don't. I don't know what their rhyme or reason on that is, but anyway, you can feel safe that if you make your request on the announcement page, then I will most likely see it. But again, thank you so much for being with us tonight. If you're interested in our songbook or our CDs, go to my website, www.birdyeomans.com. And if you have any questions about anything on the site there, my wife Linda will be glad to help you. Her address is lindayeomansrealty@gmail.com. Be kind to each other this week. I love you. I'll see you next Friday night.
More like you, Lord, more like you in everything I say and do, to help someone along the way be more like you. Every day, more like you, Lord, more like you, more like you, Lord, more like you in everything I say and do, to help someone along the way be more like you every day, more like you, Lord, more like you, more like you, Lord, more like you in everything I say and do, to of someone along the way, be more like you every day, more like you, Lord, more